So David Ayer's making a crime movie set in Los Angeles. What a surprise. So The Tax Collector is a movie about two gang members, played by Bobby Soto and Shia LaBeouf, whose job it is to collect money from other gangs. However, the duo's tax collecting days are threatened when a rival gang member comes back to LA from Mexico, and now we have the movie. Now, this movie's main marketing force was that it not only had Shia LaBeouf, but it had Shia LaBeouf getting a full-on torso tattoo just for this movie. Well, I'm real sorry to point out that Shia LaBeouf doesn't really have a big part in this movie. Bobby Soto's the main character. Yeah, he's in it just about as much as the main character, but he just doesn't do a whole lot. There was all this talk in the trailers and in the movie that he's supposed to be this dangerous and intimidating guy. One character even refers to him as the devil.
What have you heard?
I heard you're the devil.
I might be.
But the movie did very little to convince me that he was this big, bad guy that I should be afraid of. Oh, and as far as that chest tattoo goes, yeah, it's barely in the movie. Actually, let me rephrase that. It's in the movie for like half a second and it's all covered up. For those of you who wanted to see it, here you go. I just saved you $7. Oh my god. I feel bad for Shia LaBeouf right now. The director, David Ayer, is usually hit or miss with me, but I was really disappointed with this one. This movie didn't really do much to get me invested in any of the characters, so I didn't really care when they were put in dangerous situations. Not to mention that most of this movie is just boring. You'd think that a story about LA gangs would be at least a little bit interesting, but nothing happens for like a good chunk of the movie. The story hinges on the fact that this rival gang leader is coming back to LA, and that really doesn't get going until like 50 minutes into the movie, which is really bad considering that the runtime is only like an hour and a half. That means you got 40 minutes to build your suspense, to get to the film's climax, to get to your conclusion, which is pretty impossible for this film to do that well in that short amount of time. Even the action scenes come off as flat. There was a lot of slow-mo, a lot of choppy editing, and the pacing just felt off. The movie honestly started off okay, but by Act 3, everything just becomes a big, cheesy mess. It tries so hard to fit in this biblical narrative about good versus evil, but the whole thing just feels so forced. Like at one point in the movie, the main villain starts doing this weird satanic ritual, like he's sacrificing a chicken and doing all this other stuff, but then it never gets mentioned again. Like, we get it, he's the bad guy, so what the hell was that all about? Towards the end, it just felt like a direct-to-DVD movie, which is essentially what this was anyway. Which kinda sucks because, like I said, it had a decent start. I enjoyed seeing our two leads tax collecting at the beginning of the movie, but that wasn't the main part of the story, so we only got to see that for like 20 minutes. On top of that, there just wasn't enough charm to carry this movie like there was in End of Watch. In a lot of aspects, it felt like David Ayer was just trying to steal from his own movie. You got two buddies who are making their rounds for work, they crossed the wrong guy, and now they gotta watch each other's backs. Even Clay Bone Sloan plays a character in this movie that's pretty much a carbon copy of the one that he had in End of Watch. Either way, I just really didn't dig the acting from Bobby Soto or Shia LaBeouf in this movie. I don't know who Soto is, but I love Shia LaBeouf. I think he's a great actor who was just put in the wrong film. At least they got free tattoos out of it. Bottom line, The Tax Collector was probably one of the least favorite movies that I've seen in a while. It's boring in the beginning, it's rushed in the end, and the action is just not there. Even if a friend offered to pay for the rent fee, I would still avoid this movie. It's a 4.9 out of 10 for me. On a final note, thank you to anyone who tuned in to watch my review today. If you saw The Tax Collector, let me know what you thought about the movie in the comments below. If you enjoyed the review, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. There's more stuff coming on the way.